situations you said you were going to review on tape.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that you feel like you can continue to build on those mistakes?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's not get it twisted, man. Like, it's hard to complete one pass in the NFL,
Right.
let alone all of them. But I think it's really not the outcome, even though we think that one day we'll be able to do it, you know. It's really just the process of saying, no matter what it is, let's fix the mistakes, right? Whether I miss 4 passes or I miss 40 passes, I'm still going to do it, you know. I'm still going to go through every single one and, you know, think, oh, man, I could have put more on that one, or, oh, man, I hit quicker, maybe it's a completion, you know, things like that. So and that's how I've been since I've been in the NFL, and that's how Coach Gruden definitely is. And so with both of us doing that, you know, we're just trying to get better. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true. When you take a look back, no matter what happens, I go back and I'm just trying to get better.
When the radio goes haywire, do you think those are good fire drills in the long run, just in terms of you guys being able to coordinate the offense and stuff, even when something goes wrong?
Yeah, you know, it's like my son, he's in kindergarten now. They do like fire drills and things like that. There's not really a fire going on, you know. You know, you don't want to have those kind of things happen in a real game. You know what I'm saying? But it shows that our level of communication, you know, he can just kind of hand signal me something, and I know based on who's in the game, I know what play he wants, you know. And that's stuff we couldn't do last year. So it was good for us. And it just shows our growth together. Again, you know, his offense is hard to master. It's hard to get down. But once you get on the same page and can communicate at that level, it's good for the whole team. It's good for the organization.
Derek, what kind of loss is Johnathan Abram?
Oh, man, it hurts, man. Is he out for the year?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't know. I just texted him. You know, that sucks, man, because you see someone, all he was talking about before the game, he said, I've waited my whole life for this. I waited my whole life for this. He said, forget college, man. I've waited my whole life for this moment. And for him to go out there and hurt it when he did, and to continue to play, he said, yeah, I just started hitting people with my other shoulder. And that right there shows you what kind of man he is. He's a grown man. He's a Raider, and he's our Raider. And I make sure that, you know, he's still a part of this. He feels a part of it. You know, the hardest thing about those guys that if they're out for the year and they're on IR is like you don't see them. Like, we're still teammates. You know, we still need those guys around. You know, he still needs to be around as much as he can. So I love him. I'm praying for his speedy recovery, but it sucks. But you know how this league goes. It's next man up.
Derek, it wasn't the longest run. How did it feel to get out and get the legs loose a little bit?
I told the quarterbacks when I came over, I was like, all right, keep tally. I got 3 yards on the year. You know, we make sure we keep track of that. But you know, to have a scramble in the red zone, you know, in the red zone especially, 3 yards is like 8 yards. You know, just any little bit you can get in the red zone helps dramatically. So to scramble and then the next play after a timeout, you know, move off the spot and extend another play. Those are things we've been talking about. You guys have been asking me about. There's things we've harped on. You see Coach chasing me, you know, on the hard knocks and all that kind of stuff. We've been drilling it over and over again. So to have 2 plays in the game, off schedule, you know, have to move or have to scramble and run, it just shows, you know, the hard work the coaches have been harping on me, and then our hard work as players putting it in.
In terms of tempo, you start off with a pretty quick tempo, then you get late and you're trying to sit in the lead, you're back to a 4-minute drill. Is that something that you have to learn through years in the league? I mean, you can't come in right away and do that, can you?
Yeah, you're right. yeah. It's you know, there's a lot of football that I've played. You know, this is my 6th year. Like, I know it seems like I'm still a young guy, but you know, I got guys in there calling me sir and stuff. You know, some of these guys were in junior high and just going into high school, you know, and things like that. And we laugh about it, but it's some stuff you gain with experience. There's nothing like experience. Like, there's things, all these rookie quarterbacks that are playing, I don't know how many are starting, but Kyler, like, he's going to learn so much this year from starting off the jump, and he'll have that knowledge that he wouldn't have had just sitting there on the bench. You know what I mean? And so, you know, like, there was a time in the game where I told Josh Jacobs, I said, hey, we're in the 4-minute drill. Von Miller knows we're in the 4-minute drill. He's going to let you get in front of him. He's going to try and strip you from behind. That's what he does, and he's the best in the world at it. And we saw Von try and pick him up and slam him and rip the ball out twice. So that's just from playing against these guys and experience to help our guys.
Is there a way, Derek, to really emphasize just how much easier your job is when the line keeps you as clean as it does? I know that's the job, that's the hope, but
yeah, you know, you're right. You know, I'm going to go as they go. You know, I'm going to do my best. Last year we tried our best, right? The sack number was high, and a lot of those, all of them were on me. I got to, do a lot of things better. But as you saw in the game on Monday, just how well our offensive line played, and it makes a world of difference, and I'll just leave it at that. It makes a world of difference. I'm really happy that, those guys are here, those guys are healthy, and those guys are playing well, because I'm going to look terrible, if they aren't at their best, because I need their help, man. I need them to be at their best so I can be at my best.
Specifically with Colton, if watching film of that first game and preseason stuff, how different does he look than Colton from a year ago?
He looks healthy. He looks like the guy that, like, when he first showed up, we were like, oh, shoot, man. Like the way he could bend that tall and things like that it's unbelievable. And he looked noticeably stronger. You could see his punch was a little harder. He could sit down and hold a little bit more weight on the bull rush and things like that. So it was noticeable how much better he was. And not just noticeable on film, but just during the game, it was noticeable.
It looked like Trayvon made a couple of gambles when he went in later in the game. Is there anything as a quarterback that you can tell him when it's appropriate to do that, what you saw from those plays, his aggressiveness?
I got to be honest, man, I love him competing like that. When you see that as a quarterback, you better be accurate with the ball when you're throwing against him, right? You got a young kid out there, and young guys are going to get burned. He might as well cut it loose. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna make the DB coach mad at some point. He's a rookie. But I'd rather him do it full speed and dive in trying to pick the ball off. You see someone competing like that. It reminds me a lot of Marcus Peters when he was a young guy. Peters, man, he would give up a play here or a play there, but then he'd change the game with a pick. He'd change the game by, seeing something falling off and picking a ball off, and when he's competing and playing his tail off like that, everyone's high-fiving after that. When it's a big play given up, everyone's like, oh, what's the rookie doing, But when they pick it off and they change the course of a football game, everyone feels a little bit different about it. So I encourage him to, continue to, make those plays. But when he has his opportunity, of course, you've got to make the tackle.
Derek, what's different about playing on the field, Derek? Does it slow down pass rush? You hear maybe pass rush think it's a little harder to get off the ball. Are there differences when you have the games down that?
Depending on what kind of rusher they are, it does change. For Von Miller, it doesn't change. That guy, everyone kept saying, like, man, they didn't have any sacks, but there's 3 or 4 times Von's right there. If I hold it one more second, if I don't get the ball out, that's Von. And our guys did a great job against him, but that's Von. Again, it depends on what kind of rushers they are, what kind of scheme it is, those kind of things. But I think Justin Forrest said it best on his tweet, man. It's like running full speed, and once you get to full speed, belly flop on some pavement. That's about what it feels like when you hit. If you look around at our guys, they're all patched up. They got stuff on their knees taped up today and things like that. Stuff's like road rash for real. I wish they'd soften it up, but I guess it's got to be a fast track. So,
Couple more guys.
No coordinator or new coordinator, some new personnel on defense for Chiefs. It's like preparing for a different team.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting ready for the Broncos last week. They got new safeties. They got new DBs. They got new D linemen. Things like that. And it's just you do your best. Coach has a good plan for the way he does things and the way we prepare for that, but you just got to prepare for everything. You got to be ready for things that they've shown, that you take a mental snapshot of what they've shown and then say, okay, what can they do off of this that would hurt us? And you prepare as much as you can that way and be ready for everything.
You're only one of 2 guys in this team that play with Neron Ball. I'm curious about what you thought about him, what you remember about him,
yes.
What kind of teammate he was.
Neron was he always smiled. Every single day I saw him, I never saw him in a bad mood. And it's crazy to think he was that young. He's in a better place now, that's for sure. But anyone who knows him, and I get chills talking about him, just knows the life that he brought. Any picture you see of him, you see his little smile on his face, He was one of the hardest working young guys I ever saw. Crazy fast, super athletic, but always smiling, always laughing. He always would check in on you on your day every time you came in the building. Yeah, he didn't have a bad day, and so God bless his family, and we're praying for him, and I pray that they have peace through this situation, and I know that they know he's in a better place. We'll just miss him.
Derek, when you're playing against an offense like this, do you have to resist the temptation to maybe go out there and try and do too much? We got to score 40 to win today.
Oh yeah, if I was 3 years ago, I'd have been out there trying to throw haymakers every play. You know, now I play so many football games, and you know how they come down to the wire so many times. You can't. There's no 20-point plays. There's no, 8-point or 9-point, first down throws. You got to play your game. Because at the end of the day, you got to turn the film on and grade it and say, did I play winning football? And so you can't. There's times at the end of games where, depending on play calls, you have to take a risk and things like that. But when you play a team this talented, let's not get it twisted, man. They were in the AFC Championship game. They're a play away, a penalty away from going to the Super Bowl. This team is one of the best in the league. They're going to come in here with all their, most of their firepower and. Great defense, all the talent in the world. We got our work cut out for us.
Hey Raider Nation, if you like that video, please hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss any of our exclusive content, behind the scenes footage, and more. Go Raiders.